government. It wants to kill you. And then he's reading Cass Sunstein public quotes about, we need to make conspiracy theories illegal or tax them. We know that most of the conspiracy theories are true, but even if they are true, we still say they're lies. I mean, and then Beck says, don't believe me, check it out for yourself. And then he goes on to talk about how we're rats in a rat maze with controlled choices. Ladies and gentlemen, most of what you hear me talk about are epiphanies, understandings, connections I've made. I've coined hundreds of terms now in popular use. Left-right paradigm, propaganda placement. And he literally, I kept wondering why Newsweek, Time, New York Times, Salon, hundreds of publications in the last year and a half kept saying, Glenn Beck is riffing off of Alex Jones. Glenn Beck is copying Alex Jones. And even though I've got Nightline doing pieces on us, and even though I have higher internet ratings than Beck and Limbaugh combined, you can go look those up at the Google Trends, or you can go look that up at Alexa, or any of the major sites. I still think of myself as little. I still think, because I mean, it's my little office. I literally carry the trash out many days. I mean, we're a small operation. And so I thought, oh, the media is trying to demonize Beck by, saying I'm more of an extremist. And so they're claiming he's copying me. No, he really is. And, at the end of the day, I don't really mind that. If Glenn Beck was for real, if he didn't take my message and then mix into it pro-war, pro-torture, Jack Bauer is a hero, we need to take the gloves off, Ron Paul supporters might be violent, global warming might be real, on and on and on. I don't mind. I mean, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. But it also kind of shakes me up to hear him word for word. Now remember, he's got a $15 million studio. We've got a $100,000 studio. He's got a bunch of writers that ghostwrite his books and fill his teleprompters. As people always see Obama reading teleprompters and they're shocked. Well, where are the images of Beck? I mean, he's reading off teleprompters. So it's whoever's doing his writing at Fox News, and I actually have this from two high-level people that work at Fox, and I was told this over a year ago and couldn't hardly believe it separately. And then I was told by another radio executive who knows Beck and knows his bodyguards, who were retired FBI agents, that Beck believes in the New World Order, is freaked out, is building a bunker, is scared, and watches my show, listens to it daily. So I want to say to Glenn Beck, I challenged you a few years ago when you were saying FEMA camps didn't exist, when we sent you all the evidence of it. I challenged you to not continue with what you were doing. And I'm not just here griping and yelling about Glenn Beck being a Judas goat or a Benedict Arnold because I'm mad that he reaches millions of more people than I do on television. I don't care at the end of the day. I'm about the mission and my children living in a free country. I want to believe in Michael Savage. I want to believe in Rush Limbaugh. I want to believe in Glenn Beck. But I can't forget Sean Hannity saying all militias should be arrested. That's a quote. Every child in America needs an implantable microchip. That's a video quote. It's in, Police State 3? Total enslavement. I mean, I remember Savage saying 6 years ago, anybody that criticizes the war is aiding al-Qaeda and needs to be put in a forced labor camp. Well, I mean, Mr. Savage, the Patriot Act, even if the Muslims are evil, bloodthirsty demons that do want to kill us, I mean, if your paradigm is accurate, for the case of debate, let's say it might be, for 12, 13 years, I have been getting internal law enforcement reports and training manuals where it's all for conservatives and gun owners and landowners and veterans. So, I mean, you're talking about putting people in forced labor camps. Don't you understand, Savage? The forced labor camp is for good Americans. See, that's why you can't say put some group who you say is bad in the forced labor camp. And, of course, I don't believe the Muslims are evil, bloodthirsty killers that want to get us. But look, I've already started getting into this, and I shouldn't have, because I've got all the notes I've written where I really want to focus and cover every angle of this.
The economy is crumbling, debt soaring, and the possibility of World War III is increasing. I started survivalistseeds.com from my dining room table with a small bucket of seed and a single rotating banner ad on prisonplanet.com. 2 years later, we've sold over 40,000 pounds of heirloom seeds, becoming the largest bulk seed seller to the public. The majority of our customers are Alex Jones listeners. Now I'm offering 50 all-organic garden varieties, 10,000 heirloom seeds, a garden planner, and a CD teaching you how to save seeds so your children's children will always have healthy food. Don't wait until it's too late. I'm Big John Lipscomb, and my company is survivalistseeds.com.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 5 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping. An $87 value, yours free. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds. It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether if you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-2237. When investing, always proceed with caution. Again, call 1-800-686-2237. Exercise your legal right to trade metals privately. 1-800-686-2237.
As gardeners, we can all relate.
What do you do with all of the excess food that you grow?
Freezing or canning may have been the process you've used, but the good folks at Excalibur Dehydrator have a healthy alternative to preserve the fruits of your labor. The Excalibur Dehydrator will help you preserve your fruits and vegetables quickly and easily, so you don't have to worry about premature spoiling. You can also use your Excalibur Dehydrator year-round to make delicious jerky. And the best part? The foods you dehydrate are free from excess additives, salt, and preservatives, and that's something we can all do without. To learn more and to order your very own Excalibur Dehydrator, visit drying123.com and see how the Excalibur Dehydrator can help you preserve your favorite foods.
Mention coupon code GCN and receive a free book on how to preserve your foods.
Again, that's drying123.com, drying123.com, or call 1-800-875-4254. That's 1-800-875-4254 today.
As we've been trodden on the wine press for much too long,
All right, I'm going to finish up with this whole Fox News situation. You've got the 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue bloodbath going on, NBC, CNN, chiefs out. But why is Fox not just holding on to the ratings, but even growing with some of its programs? Because they at least will admit there's a world government. All over the European press, all over the foreign press, and even some of the U.S. publications admit there's a world government now, but they say it's a good thing. Now, the neocons and Republican host for decades said it didn't exist. They were the gatekeepers. It was the kook detector. If you talked about the CFR, you were a lunatic. Glen Beck on Wednesday admitted that a member of British intelligence, Edward Mandell House, helped set up the Council on Foreign Relations and the Federal Reserve to take over this country. I mean, that's incredible. What is Fox News doing talking about that? Lou Dobbs didn't even go that far. And he, of course, was forced out of CNN. At the end of the day, it's a complex issue, and again, I'm going to do a report on it. It mainly shows how we've caused a huge awakening. You have caused a huge awakening where the controlled left has to now admit world government's real, but say it's a good thing. And the controlled right has to come out and limitedly admit there's a world government and that it's authoritarian and tyrannical. But they still support the main goals of the globalist. And here's the key. But he gets better and better, so we're hoping, he's going in the right direction. He tells you that Van Jones is the top of this. He puts their photos up, and that this is the elite, and that it's Cass Sunstein. Those are mid-level minions on the left arm of the controlled system, and they know that. And the writers for Glen, Beck, and others are showing that they have a high level of understanding of the eugenics planetary dictatorship that they're now setting up. And so that means they understand the rest of the paradigm. And they're not telling you it's the Fortune 100 that are openly calling for a world government. The banks, the oil companies, all of it. They're telling you it's a bunch of professors and leftists who are only carrying out one piece of the overall agenda. And that's the big issue. But this is going to be good for my radio show, my websites, that this information is becoming so widespread, they can take baby steps now with Beck and others, and then they can find the deep analysis and the full spectrum breakdown here on this show. But to actually be really watching now and really listening, something I hadn't been doing but off and on, is freaking me out, because I'm literally producing, I had said 30-40% of Beck's show. Inadvertently, they take what I do and then change it, but use it word for word in many cases. That now what I talk about is going to be on Glen Beck in 2-3 weeks. The guest we have on are going to be on in 2-3 weeks. Word for word, what I say is taken, changed slightly, and put out on his radio and TV show. It's amazing the responsibility I've got. And I've always said it's not about Alex Jones. All of us are leaders. We've got to take action. That's the power of my great audience. But I have to face up to the fact that I've got to go to the next level. I've got to be more professional. I've got to be more focused. Because, nobody's telling Alex Jones what to do. I say, hang that light here, put a camera there. I gather the news. My crew brings me news. I go over it. There's no teleprompters. There's no makeup person. There's no nothing. What does that say about my message and my perspective and my analysis of the New World Order? That the most powerful news network in the world, and I have this confirmed from people inside, but you can see it every night, takes what I do, even down to the props he uses, the words everything. It's got to be 60% of what he says on the radio and TV is directly from this show. Imagine if you were Alex Jones, and whatever you talk about, Glen Beck has people literally taking and then putting out. And Aaron Dykes, while I was sitting there watching Wednesday's show and Thursday's show last night that they taped for me, they were fast-forwarding and showing me selects of it in our editing booth. I was watching it up on the big screen TV in that room, and Aaron looked at me very knowingly, and he said, looks like you got co-opted even though you never sold out. And Aaron says this is, and I tend to agree with him, a complex psyop. If they can't beat us, they'll join us. They're playing the part of opposition while the Republicans are out of power. As soon as they get into power, it'll be just like Keith Olbermann was anti-tyranny when Bush was in. Now he's pro-tyranny. And I tend to agree, but this is bigger than what Keith Olbermann did. This is unprecedented what's being put on television. I'm literally on television every night through Glen Beck. It's bizarre.
We're on the march
The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GC